So good morning, class 7 children. Today we will continue your chapter number 18, wastewater story. So yesterday children, we discussed that how we can throw the wastewater, the system of sewage where the wastewater from our home goes directly, sewage, sewer system, all think we had learned yesterday. Now we will continue with this chapter number 18, that WWTP. WWTP means wastewater treatment plant. How the wastewater is treated. So because children, it contains many of the impurities in it, like physical, chemical, biological impurities are there. So that's why the wastewater is treated in the different way before throwing it. Okay, before disposing. So kindly underline this: the treatment of wastewater involves physical, chemical, biological processes which remove such kind of impurities. So these type of impurities are removed. Kindly underline: physical, chemical, and biological impurities are removed with the help of these three processes: biological, physical, chemical processes we use to remove such kind of impurities. So children, this question may be in 2 marks, means very small things can be asked to you again and again. And this complete question of 5 marks can also be there, in which there are different steps to be followed. In first step, what is done? I want Zikra to read. Zikra, kindly read the first point here.
Yeah. Water waste is passed through bar screens, large objects like racks, and I don't have my book right now. I was going to take it. I was in the.
So the first point is read it carefully, beta. Your voice is not clear. First is bar screen. The water is passed through the bar screens. Okay. If bar screen means like ये आप समझ लो जाली की तरह ये structure होती है. This is a structure like this. Here the large objects like rags, sticks, canes, plastic bottles, packets, napkins, etc. are removed. So first point, I think it's clear to you. This is a bar screen. Through bar screen, what is clean out? Like large objects like rags, sticks, cans, plastic bottles, etc. are removed. After that, your second step is grit and sand removal tank. Kindly underline this, or you can give the heading of it also. Grit and sand removal tank. Grit and sand removal tank in what happens in this tank? Water then goes to the grit and sand removal tank. Here, the speed of the water is slowed down. Okay, the speed of the water is slowed down. Why that happens? Because so that the impurities can be settled at the bottom. Which type of impurities? Like sand, grit, pebbles to be settled at the bottom. So this is the second point, grit and sand removal tank. I hope first and second points are clear to you. First point was a bar screen. Here the large impurities are removed. Second point is the grit and sand removal tank. Here the speed of the water is slowed down to settle the impurities. Next, children, comes now what happens? Here the sedimentation process is taken in point 3. What is done? Can we read this point number 3? The water is then
allowed to settle in a large tank which is sloped towards the middle. Solids like faces settle at the bottom and are removed with a scraper. This is the sludge. A skimmer removes the floatable solids like oil and grease. Water so cleared is called clarified water.
Okay. So in third point, beta, the sedimentation is done. You know, by the process of sedimentation, the solid waste settle at the bottom, and that solid waste is known as a sludge, and that can be removed with the help of a scraper. This is a sludge. The skimmer removes the floatable solid, like, and after that skimmer is used, which removes the floatable solids like oil and grease, that are lighter than water. They keep on floating on the surface of the water. Then we obtained a clear water. Still, we had just removed the solid impurities only. So is there any confusion to anyone till number 3? First is a bar screen. Second is your grit and sand removal tank. Third is your sedimentation. Here the solid waste settle at the bottom, and that solid waste which settle at the bottom is known as a sludge, and that can be removed with the help of a scraper. Next, what happens? What is the next one? The sludge is transferred to the separate tank where it is decomposed by the anaerobic bacteria. Now the clarified water is separated, and after that the sludge, which was the solid waste, it is shifted to the another tank, and here it is decomposed with the anaerobic bacteria. Anaerobic bacteria, children, I hope it's clear to you. What is the anaerobic bacteria?
Which bacteria needs a free oxygen for their growth.
Yes, which works in the absence of the oxygen. After that, what happened when the anaerobic bacteria work on sludge, the biogas is produced, and that biogas produced is used as a fuel and can produce the electricity. Children, this one question can also be there. The question in 1 mark, what is the use of biogas? Kindly keep on marking the questions. So biogas produced, and where it is produced? By the when the anaerobic bacteria works on the sludge, and that biogas produced can be used as a fuel and can be used to produce the electricity. Kindly mark this one question. After that, still here the process is not over. Afterwards, what is done? Now through that clarified water, what is done? Air is pumped. We had read in the word aeration in the key terms. So aeration means air is pumped into the clarified water to help aerobic bacteria to grow. Now it's very, very important. Air is pumped. This question may also be there. Why the air is pumped in the clarified water? So the main purpose of pumping the air into the clarified water is to produce or to help aerobic bacteria to grow. Bacteria consume human waste, food waste, other waste, and unwanted material still remaining in the clarified water. The children, it looks like a clarified water, but still it is not. That's why the air is pumped, so that aerobic bacteria can grow through it, and much more of the impurities can be removed from the clarified water. After several hours, what happens? The suspended microbes settle at the bottom of the tank, and that are known as a activated sludge. Already we had read one word, sludge. That was a solid waste. Now it is a activated sludge. The water is removed from the top. So now what is activated sludge is, because we had clarified the water by pumping the air, and that pumping air is done to remove the soap, like other waste, food material. So activated sludge is almost 97% of water. Kindly write down or mark it. You may get this question in 1 mark or in MCQs. How much percentage of water is there in the activated sludge? It is 97% of the water. Then water is removed by sand drying beds or machines. After that, okay, one more use is there. Then how the dried sludge is used? Dried sludge is used as a manure, returning organic matter and nutrients to the soil. Kindly mark it also. I'm giving you extra questions side by side, children. So what is the use of dried sludge? आपको बताना है ड्राइड स्लज का क्या यूज है. Use of dry sludge is, okay, I hope you had marked the use of dried sludge. Next is, now the water we had treated with this plant has low level of organic material and suspended matter. Now maximum of the impurities has been removed by this process. It is just now your water is ready to discharge. Now we can discharge the water. The water is discharged into the sea, river, or into the ground. Then nature clean up further. Sometimes it may be necessary in disinfect. Okay, one thing more is there still left. After some time, what happens? Sometimes we add the disinfectant. Two disinfectants are added in the water. One is chlorine and other is ozone. Again, you can get the question of 1 or 2 marks. Which disinfectants are added or which chemicals are added in water to clarify it? Disinfectant, that is chlorine and the ozone. So children, this is the whole process of WWTP plant. Whenever this question will be coming in 5 marks, you have to write point wise. Okay, as here it is given. First is your bar screen. Second is grit chamber, grit and sand removal tank. Third is your sedimentation. And fourth is aeration, means air is pumped into it. Okay, after pumping the air, aerobic respiration takes place, and after that you will be giving the use of dry sludge and the activated sludge. And the last point is we are adding 2 disinfectant, that are chlorine and ozone into it. Okay, so this is after that, then by the WWTP plant, then the water is thrown into the seas, rivers, or into the ground. So this is a whole process of WWTP, means wastewater treatment plant. I hope this point, all the points are clear to you. If anybody is having any problem, you may ask. Next topic is become an active citizen. So children, how we need to become an active citizen, what we can do. Okay, Abhigyan, you can read this paragraph. Unmute. Become an active citizen. Still you are not unmuted. Mahi, you can read.
Okay, ma'am. Waste generation is a natural part of human activity, but we can limit the type of waste and quantity of waste produced. Often we have been repelled by offensive smell. The sight of open drains is disgusting. The situation warns
Worsen
in the
in the
rainy
rainy
season.
season. Yes.
Version in the rainy season when the drains start overflowing. We have to wade through the mud pools on the roads. Most unhygienic and unsanitary conditions prevail, while mosquitoes and other insects breed in it.
Okay.
You can be
Okay, Malvika, continue. Malvika, you can continue with the next paragraph. You can be
Okay.
enlightened.
You can be enlightened citizen and approach the municipality or the Gram Panchayat. Insist that open drains can be covered. If the sewage of any particular house makes the neighborhood dirty, you should request them to be more considerate about the other's health.
Okay, children. So if we are talking about the as a good citizen, so there are our responsibilities also. We can talk to the municipalities, and we need no need to, whenever the drains are overflowing, the water is coming on the road, dirty water coming on the road. So we can contact to the municipality or the Gram Panchayat so that the drains should be covered. Okay, next children, one thing more is there, better housekeeping practices. So few things we need to kept in mind when we are doing work in the kitchen. So housekeeping practices, what to throw where to throw. So all these things we need to kept in mind. So there are 3 points. Yes, Vedika, continue. Read the first point. After that, second point, Abhigyan, you can.
Yes, ma'am. Cooking oil and fats should not be thrown down the drain. They can harden and block the pipes. In an open drain, the fats clog the soil pores, reducing its effectiveness in filtering water. Throw oil and fats in the dustbin.
Okay, children, it's very important. So 3 of the points can also be there, and one point can be asked to you in a questionnaire form, that why cooking oil and fat should not be thrown into the drains. What's the reason? So there is a reason: it hardens and block the pipes. Okay. And fats get clogged, means it get accumulated, it gets collected, and the drains, when the pores, reduce the effectiveness of filtering. So all these points we should kept in mind. Even you can tell to your mom that cooking oil and fat should not be thrown into the drains. Number 2. Yes, Abhigyan, if you want, you can read now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Chemicals like paints, solvents, insecticides, motor oil, medicines may kill microbes that help purify water. So do not throw them down.
Again, that should not be thrown into the drain. Okay. Number 3. Read this point also. Kavya, if you want to read.
Ma'am, yes?
Read this point. Used tea leaves.
Okay, ma'am. Use tea leaves, solid food remains, soft toys, cotton, sanitary towels, etc. should also be thrown in the dustbin. These waste choke the drain. They do not allow free flow of oxygen. This hamper the degrading process.
Okay, so children, these 3 points are there. If you want to throw the towel, napkin, so that should be thrown in the dustbin, not into the drains, because they do not allow the free flow of the oxygen, and your drains will be choke, or they can be clogged. So all these things we should kept in mind. These are the better housekeeping practices, and you can spread the awareness also among and at your home, that we should not throw all that things in the dustbin. Next, children, till here 3 points are clear to you, and one question can also be there, that why chemicals like paints should not be thrown into the drains. Because they kill the microbes present into the drains, and that does not help in the filtration process. Next comes sanitation and diseases. So what is a sanitation? Already we know the meaning of sanitation. Can I have the meaning of sanitation again? What do you mean by sanitation?
Keeping our surroundings clean.
Clean, yes, cleanliness. When we are keeping our surrounding clean, that is known as a sanitation. There is a good relationship between the cleanliness and living conditions, that if there will be a cleanliness, there will be no diseases. So all these things we need to kept in mind. If the sanitation will be poor, then the diseases will be coming. So just take care of all that things. Who is going to? Yes, hygiene sanitation refers to hygiene also. How much hygiene? Ananya Jain? Ananya, Anya? Ananya, where are you? Nabil, Fiona, Shivam? If any one of you want to read, you can. Okay, Vedika, you continue. Sanitation and diseases.
Okay, ma'am. Poor sanitation and contaminated drinking water is the cause of a large number of diseases. Let us look at our country. A vast number of our people are still without sewage facilities. Where do they relieve themselves? A very large fraction of our people defecate in the open, on dry riverbeds, on railway tracks near the fields, and many a time directly in water. Untreated human excreta is a health hazard. It may cause water pollution and soil pollution. Both the surface water and groundwater gets polluted. Groundwater is a source of water for wells, tube wells, springs, and many rivers. As you learned in chapter 16, thus it becomes the most common route for waterborne diseases. They include chl-
Cholera,
cholera,
typhoid,
typhoid, polio,
yes,
meningitis,
hepatitis,
hepatitis,
dysentery.
and dysentery.
So children, you can underline these are the waterborne diseases. Kindly underline, and if there will be a water pollution, soil pollution, so these waterborne diseases can be caused easily. So it's a duty of each and every human being that he or she should not spread the waste material here and there. Even they should not defecate in the open, because that can pollute the soil, upper part of the soil, and the groundwater, water pollution, all things can be polluted. So it is a duty of each one of us not to spread the waste here and there. So next comes the alternative arrangement for the sewage disposal. So children, already rest will be taken tomorrow, that what are the alternate arrangement for the sewage disposal. Now we are throwing the sewage, that the waste goes through the pipes and it is collected in the sewage, and from there it is taken to the WWTP. So what is the alternate for that we are going to study tomorrow. Okay, rest will be taken, and after that it will be the sanitation at public places. Even few things are there which should be kept in mind, that whenever we are at the public place, we should keep few of the things in our mind. So I hope today's topic is clear to you, and one of the question I will give you today, that is you have to write about the WWTP. Like if the question is in complete 5 marks, write about it. Okay, explain WWTP.